So we just came out of the court where Magistrate Mohlolo Kgadisi actually found that there was no case against the fifth applicant in the matter, and the fifth applicant being Nastassja Jansen was granted bail. He started off obviously by going through the entire case, where it started, and all of the evidence that was laid before him in terms of the affidavits that were submitted to the court by the five applicants in the matter, as well as the evidence that was led by the investigating officer who gave evidence of the entire investigation into the matter. The magistrate also proceeded then to speak about what he had found to be in the interest of justice. He mentioned a couple of sections in the case, and also said that he will not be granting bail to the four people: the first applicant, the second applicant, the third applicant, and these are Senohe Matsoara, Tieho, Makhotsa, Teboho Lipholo, as well as Masukela. All of these three people were not granted bail, but I have with me one of the representatives who was actually representing Masukela in the matter. I just want to get reaction from him as to what is next. Ntate Masilo Kwenani, what is going to be next now that your client did not get bail today?
Well, we are actually, as attorneys, we are animals of mandates. We are going to meet with our clients and see what needs to be done. But my client had already hinted that should he not get bail, we probably would approach High Court about the matter and appeal the finding of the court.
But in terms of what the magistrate was saying and the sections that he was talking about with regards to what he found in terms of the evidence, do you agree with him or do you not agree with him?
Look, as a practitioner, as a legal practitioner, one has to respect the court's findings. But we obviously know that there's always a resort in cases where a certain decision has actually been made. So we will be approaching the court on that basis.
The magistrate says it's not in the interest of justice, right? You would obviously disagree with him, but this is what he has found. Do you think that there'll be any different outcome if you appeal the case?
Look, when we appeal the case, we are basically saying let the higher court reconsider the matter, let the higher court look at the very same matter and see whether was the lower court correct in giving a particular decision. Do we think that we are standing a chance? We certainly believe that, much as we respect the decision of the court.
Will that not prolong the process longer?
Well, look, we're talking about the liberty of people, freedom of people. You really cannot put any time when you speak about the liberty of individuals here. Would it prolong the matter? Probably, but it is our understanding that it is better if one were to be outside awaiting trial rather than being inside, incarcerated, whilst awaiting trial.
Can you just take us through, in terms of your client? He has a wife, obviously he has children. What has been the situation at home since his incarceration?
Look, you will understand or you'll remember that my client had not been dismissed from work. He had actually been suspended, if you remember. So he had been any until very recently. So at least there was still some money coming into the household. So they were still able to live. But if he were to be incarcerated, it would be very, very difficult because you'll remember that we were arguing that he is a breadwinner and that his wife is not working and he's got 4 children. It would be certainly very, very difficult, very, very grim. It will be a very, very grim picture, so to speak. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ntate Kwenani. That was Masilo Kwenani there, telling us about their obviously next step in terms of what the outcome was here today. We saw the magistrate denying bail to the first 4 applicants in the matter and then granting bail to Nastassja Jansen. There was a lot of anticipation prior to this that indeed the outcome will be the way that it was, that Nastassja Jansen would be the only person. The magistrate did mention that the state did not have a case. In fact, the words that he used were the case against Nastassja Jansen was porous, and that is why she was granted bail and the other 4 were not granted bail. We are now on a recess. We are going to come back to the court and then we will know when the next date of this case will take place. With that, it's back to you in studio.